was kind of coming from that collective consciousness of the children, but they were talking about a time when we knew that we were meant to almost broadcast or radiate that energy in motion or the emotional body versus turn it inward, again, more towards at a time where we were not as separate, playing the game of separation quite as profoundly as we currently are. But they were talking about this radiance of energy and this whole concept of informing all that is, kind of, if we are all elements of all that is, they were talking about using the energy of the emotional body, not the emotions, but using the energy of the emotional body to inform all that is and to also kind of heighten broader perceptions and awarenesses of self versus the densities of the mental body. Can you speak to that?
Oh, I'll give it a go.
It felt like it very much referenced what you said on the website, which was that the purpose of incarnating on Earth and experiencing this limited reality is to expand God consciousness. So to expand the consciousness of all that is, which I'm assuming means our experiences expand that consciousness.
Yes, well, let's talk about this at a higher level. Creation is, there's actually only one soul in creation. Mm-hmm. It's the soul of God, keeping it simple. And the soul of God, which is obviously very vast, because it's all of creation, the word creation is not more a noun, it's more a verb. Mm-hmm. Creation is a process of re-experiencing or experiencing life in some form at some dimensional level. And so the soul of God, or the Creator, is constantly trying to expand its consciousness in a myriad of different ways. And so that drive is what created us, because we are sparks, all sparks of the Creator, who left the Creator in consciousness. We went unconscious and we came into these bodies. And we create this illusion that we're in separate bodies, like these 14 of us on this call, or 15 with me now. And we initially have the illusion that we're all separate from each other in different bodies, but actually we're just different projections, streams of consciousness from the Creator, really, just having a unique experience depending on our soul contract. So there's actually ultimately no separation between us and the Creator, just that we have this ego filter which creates this illusion of being separate from God because we came into a body. So actually each moment of our life is the Creator re-experiencing itself in different ways. For example, if the Creator wanted to experience what is it like to be in God's power, it would create a lifetime for a specific soul expression where there will be lots of disempowerment created initially. So that spark of the Creator experienced something quite different. Experienced the opposite of what it wants to come into. And so that person, their life will be about overcoming the disempowerment. It could be abuse from parents. It could just be a difficult time at school or whatever. And because we come in with the opposite of what we're to become, it's called the law of opposites. And so we then, when we get what we don't want in life, we then get very clear what we do want. And so that person will really have the strong drive to become empowered. And as they move from the place of like maybe feeling like a victim and disempowered and gradually move forward to being empowered, then that is the Creator re-experiencing the power of God, coming back into it. It's actually the journey of life. That's why we have life, because the Creator wants to have that type of experience, and it's unique for each of us.
It makes sense, too, as to why so many people who kind of wake up, really seek to wake up, they do it because of the challenges of their lives, and I look at some of the children that we work with as practitioners and families, children diagnosed with autism, and from the outer vantage point, from the mind or the body vantage point, looks like a really challenging kind of experience, and it is a challenging experience. And yet at a soul level, you're watching them just, they know exactly what they're doing, both in an individual way and a very collective way. So.
Yeah, there are many different high-frequency beings coming into Earth to transmute their gifts, their love in very specific ways, including the autistic children. Mm-hmm. And the collective consciousness has a certain set of beliefs, or the consensus reality has certain beliefs about what is normal, quite normal. And most people buy into that because they get programmed by the reality that this is what's normal. So anything which is not normal, as far as the system is concerned, is labeled like autism, ADD, ADHD, all that sort of stuff. But the specific soul groups come in to infuse certain frequencies into the overall human consensus to wake it up. And so that's what I believe these types of souls are actually doing. I don't think there's anything quite wrong with them in the sense that the system thinks there's something wrong because it's not within the norm.
Right. I just keep viewing that, what the collective consciousness of the children has shared even more recently is that they are holding a particular frequency of love, and holding that frequency of love is more important to them at a soul level than fully incarnating into a physical body to make somebody else, quote unquote, pleased with their progress kind of thing. And so very much about a particular frequency of love, and also very much about teaching us how kind of separated we actually are from ourselves, that the physical experiences can be still very separate from the soul experience. And they seem to be shedding a lot of light on that, as well as quite a bit of other things as well.
Yeah, because these children and the other children, like the rainbows, indigos, and crystals, being very specific. Yeah, they bring very specific frequencies of love, mm-hmm. and new structures and constructs, new transmissions, which the consensus requires in order to wake up.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if this higher consciousness wasn't coming in some form, we would have destroyed ourselves a long time ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
We wouldn't be talking now. But because enough of these higher frequency beings have come in, their higher level of consciousness has managed to hold and transmute the negativity of the majority of the population who've gone to sleep, really seriously asleep, and fallen into the trap of the ego, which is to indulge in all the negative energies, or the negative expression of human consciousness. Mm. And so these beings are basically helping us wake up, helping create a better world eventually. It's gradually getting there. Mm. The fact that it's still here is a good sign, and the fact that the transition we've been making since the end of 2012 is accelerating, and a lot of changes are happening in the world, and we can see it out there, especially in the power structures, because this higher consciousness is changing everything, even though the system would rather stay the way it is, but it will gradually change. It's accelerating, actually, because high consciousness always raises lower consciousness.